Sorry, Dr. Crane. Oh, I'm gonna lose you. I'm going into a tunnel. Goodbye.
Yes, and the light at the end of that tunnel is a heat lamp over a large order of fries.
For anyone who spent evenings in Seattle's most famous radio booth, Frasier was comfort food for the brain. Beneath the witty dialogue and sherry toasts, Frasier is packed with bizarre trivia and production secrets most fans never heard. Get ready for 10 seriously weird facts from Frasier that will have even longtime viewers second-guessing what they know. Number 1. Frasier nearly didn't move to Seattle at all. Let's go back to the early 90s when NBC was plotting a future for Dr. Frasier Crane. You might think Seattle was always in the cards, but that wasn't the studio's first pick. Executives pushed for warmer, sunnier options, Denver, even a return to Boston. But Kelsey Grammer, determined to leave Cheers behind, lobbied for a clean slate, clear across the country. Seattle was unknown TV territory in 1993. Its skyline, crowned by the Space Needle, and its endless gray drizzle, let the world know this was not Boston's boozy backroom anymore. The decision wasn't just a backdrop. Seattle's espresso bars, indie radio, and rain-soaked renaissance added depth to every scene, blending insider wit with an unmistakable sense of place. Suddenly, you could feel the city in the show's jazz riffs and witty banter, making Seattle, almost overnight, as big a character as Frasier, Niles, or Roz. That moody Pacific Northwest charm would soon seep into every punchline, setting the tone for a sitcom unlike any other. Number 2. The show had an off-limits word list. You might be surprised to learn that behind all of Frasier's snappy repartee and clever wit, there was something of a secret rulebook guiding every conversation. The show's writers faced a strict set of banned words, none more glaring than psychiatrist, a term that felt too heavy, too clinical for the banter-filled world of Cafe Nervosa. Instead, the writers danced around the label, finding lighter, more approachable ways to ground the story in Frasier and Niles' field. Punchlines relying on broad slapstick were also off-limits. The show's comedic soul lived in quick-witted dialogue, sharp comebacks, and cultural references rather than banana peels or pratfalls. This unusual approach fostered the highbrow, intellectual tone that made Frasier such a standout on NBC throughout its 11-season run from 1993 to 2004. The ban on easy gags forced the ensemble to aim for humor rooted in character quirks and verbose misunderstandings. It's why, even decades later, you can almost hear Frasier's precise enunciation echoing through your living room, setting the stage for a very different kind of sitcom chuckle. Number 3. There's a Cheers staff cameo hidden in the finale. Sharp eyes catch details that most viewers miss. And in the very last episode of Frasier, the showrunners sprinkled in a treasure chest of personal touches. When Martin Crane lies in the hospital, the nurse by his bedside isn't just any actress. She's played by John Mahoney's real-life daughter, adding a poignant layer to their on-screen goodbyes. She wasn't the only familiar face, either. In the staff scenes at Cafe Nervosa, regular extras and even a few waiters were actually cast and crew members who had walked through the Cheers set years before. This crossover was more than an inside joke. It was a gentle handshake between the two shows that shaped an entire era of sitcoms. Eagle-eyed fans spotted bits of Cheers nostalgia in the background, those subtle Easter eggs like a wink to old friends. With that, Frasier's series finale in 2004 tied its legacy back to the roots it grew from, closing the curtain with warmth, wit, and one last bow to the past. As the credits rolled, you could almost hear the clink of mugs and the laughter of sitcom legends echoing across TV history. Number 4. Frasier's apartment view is geographically impossible. Rain falls quietly outside an upscale Seattle high-rise, and Frasier Crane gazes out his picture window with the Space Needle perfectly framed. But here's a shock for devoted fans. This stunning skyline never truly existed. While the beloved sitcom Frasier began airing on NBC in 1993, its signature apartment view was pure Hollywood magic. Set designers crafted the cityscape to be dramatic and visually striking, even if that meant relocating the Space Needle to an impossible spot. In reality, the show's interiors were filmed in Los Angeles soundstages, not in the Pacific Northwest. Tourists who flocked to Seattle in hopes of finding Frasier's exact view quickly realized it's nowhere to be found. It's a clever illusion, the kind that mixes nostalgia with a bit of TV trickery. Sometimes the most iconic details are the ones you could only ever visit in your imagination. Next, let's step beyond that dreamlike window and see what else was hidden in plain sight. Number 5. Moose, who played Eddie, hated Kelsey Grammer. Those classic shots of Eddie perched on Frasier's sofa, locking eyes in silent standoffs with Kelsey Grammer. It all looked effortless on screen. But the reality barks a different tune. Moose, the charming Jack Russell Terrier who played Eddie from the very first episode in 1993, was notoriously stubborn behind the scenes. Trainers swore by sardines and generous dabs of liver pate just to keep him temporarily focused. In truth, Moose rarely tolerated Grammer for more than a minute, forcing the crew to rely on clever editing and split-second camera cuts. Most of the show's famous dog and psychiatrist chemistry was pure Hollywood magic, not canine devotion. For animal lovers, it's a surprise just how much drama hid behind such legendary sitcom moments. Yet, even with his diva ways, Moose's scrappy presence turned Eddie into a 90s TV icon. Sometimes what looks like harmony is really just a smart trick and a handful of treats. The curtain falls, and we peek behind the next scene. Who knew comedy gold could have so many teeth? Let's pause for a second and relive the best Frasier moments.
You know why you're here, don't you? Well, now listen, it's for your own good. Believe me, you'll be much happier afterwards.
Did you have a favorite Eddie scene? Or did you ever try to train your own pet after seeing Moose in action? Share your memories with us below. Number 6. Niles was invented for the spinoff, not carried over from Cheers. It's almost impossible today to picture Frasier Crane's world without his fussy younger brother Niles. But when Frasier launched in 1993, the idea of giving Dr. Crane a sibling wasn't even on the table. It all changed thanks to a casting call. Network execs saw David Hyde Pierce and instantly noted his uncanny resemblance to Kelsey Grammer. The show's writers jumped at the chance, creating Niles specifically to showcase Pierce's razor-sharp wit and genius for physical comedy. That twitchy impatience, the neurotic eyebrow raises, and those flourishes with a sherry glass. None of it was in the playbook at first. Pierce transformed Niles from a risky addition into a core part of the show's chemistry, earning multiple Emmys along the way. Looking back, it's wild to think this now beloved character was crafted entirely from scratch just for the new series. Sometimes TV's brightest stars are born from a spark of unexpected inspiration. Number 7. Kelsey Grammer played Sideshow Bob at the same time. You'd see Frasier Crane fretting over sherry glasses on NBC, but off-screen, Kelsey Grammer had another life, plotting cartoon chaos as Sideshow Bob on The Simpsons. Most folks watching Frasier's debut in 1993 had no idea that Grammer was juggling two wildly different worlds at once. Week after week, he'd tape highbrow sitcom scenes in Seattle's Radio Psych studio, then sneak off to Fox's bustling animation booth, slipping into Bob's menacing cackle. Frasier became TV royalty, gathering Emmys year after year. Meanwhile, Springfield's finest villains started making regular appearances, winning hearts with that unforgettable deep laugh, sometimes recorded in the very same week as a Frasier episode. This rare crossing of genres is almost unheard of, yet somehow Grammer pulled it off, charming millions without most fans ever connecting the dots. The next time Frasier waxes poetic about Freud, picture the shadows of rakes and that wicked, unmistakable voice echoing off-set. There's a delightful overlap, one you could almost hear if you listen between the lines. Number 8. The Dad's Chair came from a thrift store. There it sat, lumpy, avocado brown, and decidedly out of place among Frasier Crane's expensive decor. Martin's shabby recliner, a familiar fixture on NBC starting in 1993, was never meant to be glamorous. Prop designers scoured thrift stores with a mission: find the most convincingly ugly dad chair you could imagine. When they spotted that battered recliner for just $99, they never looked back. Show executives nudged for a fresh chair, one that would match Frasier's highbrow taste, but the creative team stood firm. This chair wasn't just furniture. It was a storytelling anchor, a reminder of Martin's working-class roots and the frictions threading through the Crane apartment. Through every set redesign, that thrift store relic stayed put, stubborn as ever, outlasting every trendy lamp and polished table. To fans, it's as iconic as Kelsey Grammer's theme song about tossed salad and scrambled eggs. Sometimes the heart of a sitcom isn't a leading actor, but a beat-up recliner that feels like home. And with every episode, it pulled us back to family and forward to the next comforting moment. Number 9. The KACL call letters don't match the real Seattle. On Frasier, The voice of reason poured his advice into the imaginary airwaves of KACL 780 AM. That station, though, never crackled through Seattle's real radios. Fans scanning the dial in 1993 would come up empty. No such frequency, no meaningful call sign. The show's creators, David Angel, Peter Casey, and David Lee, cleverly pieced together those 4 call letters from their own surnames. This sly tribute turned KACL into an inside joke, the sort most viewers wouldn't notice unless they stuck around for DVD commentary. It's a tiny thing, just a string of letters, nestled into set dressing and casual dialogue, but it hints at the playful spirit and pride woven through every script, every minute behind the microphone. Next time you hear Frasier greet Seattle, you'll know he's broadcasting straight from the hearts of his makers, a ghost signal, more legend than local traffic jam. Keep one ear open. The next oddity might be right between the lines. Number 10. Roz's pregnancy was written for real-life reasons. That moment when Roz Doyle's life got unexpectedly complicated wasn't just a great sitcom twist. It happened for a behind-the-scenes reason. Actress Perry Gilpin, who played the sharp-tongued radio producer, was almost written out of Frasier during Season 5. Instead, the writers made a bold move. Rather than send Roz away, they wrote her real-life possible absence into the storyline, giving her character a pregnancy arc that started in 1997. Suddenly, viewers got to see a side of Roz we hadn't imagined, navigating single motherhood, career demands, and a life that rarely went to plan. Frasier used this as a chance to dive deep into real adult courage, far beyond the typical sitcom hijinks. The change let audiences watch Roz evolve from sassy sidekick to someone juggling strollers and studio microphones, all while staying true to herself. If not for this writerly pivot, we might have missed out on one of the show's gutsiest storylines. Sometimes what's unexpected is what makes a series unforgettable, and that's just the first of many surprises from the Crane crew.